everybody. How are you? Can you do a little better than that? Yeah, it is a good morning. Barnhart. I'm the executive director here at the IU, and it is my honor and privilege to welcome you this morning. This is the 20th consecutive year that we've provided an educational office professional training here at the IU. So I want to thank you all for being part of a milestone anniversary with us. Here the 20th. How many of you have been here for all 20? No, you don't have to answer that question. You don't have to answer that question. That would be way too telling. Hey, I want to introduce our guest speaker in just a minute, but let me give some housekeeping rules for you this morning and some help. And yes, those of you over here to my left, you are equally as important as everyone over here to the right. I just want you to know, a little shift in our room. Don't let that bother you. We'll have access to screens, and you'll be there fine. Hey, if you need to use the restroom this morning, you need to go out the rear hallway doors and make a left. Gentlemen, they're on the left. Ladies, they're around the corner on the left. So just think left. Left, left, left. You'll find it eventually without any difficulty. There's going to be coffee and water served in the back of this room on this half throughout the morning. And beverages are located throughout the conference center in our hallways as well. So help yourself as you can to those. Let me see if I missed anything else. Yes, on your name tag, you'll need a friend because it's kind of hard to look down now when your name tags are on. But find a partner, and they can tell you what breakout session you're in because they're below your name on 1 and 2. So make sure you take a look at those breakout sessions. Again, you may have to collaborate and talk with somebody. So there you go. Your breakout presenters will have a little more information with regard to lunch and end of sessions. Hey, this morning we are really privileged to have I think you're going to be in for a really treat. You see, we did this just last week. We had a group about this size representing 13 or so of our school districts, Harrisburg, Patton, and IU 13, and one of our CTCs. So look around, you're in great company. But we did this last week, and Gretchen Sortzi was with us then, and she's back, and she's from MAD Empowerment, and she is a dynamic and motivational speaker, author, business owner, empowerment coach, and behavioral modification specialist. We really need to talk later. She's got more than 15 years of experience in the health and wellness profession, where she's helped clients achieve their goals through innovative programs and witty and practical curriculum. And I think you're going to get a taste of that this morning. She came to us highly recommended, and how many of you have been part of Gretchen's work in the past? Seen her. So there's a couple, they're smiling and nodding. That's always a really good sign. So following, she's going to help us this morning to see how to become happier human beings and to truly change the way we see the world and operate within it. So let me tell you about today's session with her specifically. Gretchen's keynote is entitled Finding the Light, and she plans to take a fresh look at the power of our attitude with information on how our brain chemistry works behind the scenes. I think you're going to love it, and I know we did a week ago. So with that, I'm going to bring Gretchen and turn it over to Gretchen. Welcome to IU 13, Gretchen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are we awake and ready? Now, I like to work the room, so I'm going to have to come over to see you guys a little bit, and then I'm going to have to come back over here to see you guys a little bit. I am so excited to be here today to share with you. But before I start talking and telling you a whole bunch of great stuff that can change your life, I want to stop for a moment and just say thank you. I've worked in several IUs and in several school districts, and here's something I know. I know you work so hard. You care deeply about what you do. You enhance the lives of children and other people, sometimes even each other. But I know that sometimes you don't get the thank you at the end of the day that you may deserve. So I just want to stop before we do anything else and tell you thank you. I'm quite aware of how hard you work and how you contribute to your community, and I am incredibly thankful for you. So I just wanted to begin today by letting you know that just a thank you for what you do. What I want to do this morning is enhance your life. I want to give you something that empowers you to be happier, to smile more, to get more of what you want, to have better days. And we do that by finding the light. And I want you to look at this little picture about light. Do you notice that there's no shadow behind the actual light. Can everyone see that? Now, of course, our matchstick has a shadow, but when it comes to the actual light itself, it has no shadow. It fills the room, lights it up. And if it was pitch black in here and we lit a match, that light would eventually grow and grow and grow until we could see our way through the darkness. So being the light is, it's about filling up a room, light, living in a way that you are filled with light. But we have to start by figuring out what that looks like, because it's not so easy just to find the light all the time. So I want to introduce you to some people that already know what it's like to find the light, because they found it and they have it. Meet Lily. Lily is the light. There's not a time you walk into the house that Lily isn't completely and totally excited to see you. Even if you've locked her in a cage for an entire day while you were at work, when she exits the cage, you are her best friend, and she is so excited to see you. She likes to do everything you like to do. You want to take a walk? Yeah, I do. Definitely want to take a walk. Yeah, yeah. Are you eating something? Oh, I want some. Yeah, please. Can we have some? And it doesn't matter what it is. She loves it. She wants to be around you. She wants to lift you up. She wants to love you, hug you, snuggle you. She just wants to always shine her light so that you feel good. And if you have a dog or pet, you know exactly how that feels. They always bring the light. How about these cuties? This may or may not be a picture from 1985, and I may or may not be in that picture. May or may not. But look at the light. Let me put you on a pair of pantyhose and a tutu and see how much light you have. Right? We wouldn't have much. Go, oh no, close the door. I don't want anybody to see me. But here they are, filled with light. So happy to twinkle and turn around and show what they've got. How about that beauty? Now, if that isn't the light, she's 13 now. It's hard for me to even look at that picture. Not so much light anymore. I'm talking about this one. How about these two? Now, I want to note something about these two little cuties who happen to be my nephews. Look at little Lucas. He's graduating from kindergarten. Look how happy he is. Look how much light he is shining. Have you ever been to a high school graduation? How much light's out there? Most of the kids are generally waiting for graduation to be over so that they can go have some fun with their friends, right? And then as soon as that party's over, they just want to get to college and get out because they need to go, right? But see, at this graduation, at this kindergarten graduation, he's so excited. And then Snoopy, the little guy with the life preserver, that's his nickname. Snoopy has never swam before and was about to jump off the side of a boat. Now, do you see fear? No. This little boy is raring to go. Throw me in, Dad. I want to play. We would be scared to death. My knees would be buckling and lots of new experiences, yes? And how about little Faith? Now, I want you to notice she's laying in a hospital bed because she just had a pretty severe upper GI test. And, of course, she's a tiny little girl. But do you see how happy she is to have her picture taken? All she needs is her stuffed animal, her little ice pop, and the love of her mom and dad. And no matter what she's going through, she's laying in the bed, smiling and happy. She's the light. We get a cold or a stuffed up nose, and we can be a whole mess of negative. Right? How about these boys? Anyone recognize the Redland team there? Look at the excitement in their faces. That's light, and they are shining it for everybody to see. And as if that isn't awesome enough, look at that picture. Hugging the Japan team when Japan won. Filled with love for the other team. Still wanting to show their light and be happy. What happens when we don't get what we want? Most of us aren't hugging the other team, you know? So that's what the light looks like. And now we've got to figure out how to find it. So I'm going to let you in on a few secrets. Number one, in order to find the light you are looking for in your darkness, you must be it. That's really the secret to the whole thing. If you want to find the light in your darkness, you have to be the light in your darkness. Well, how do I just be the light? You choose it. It's a choice, like everything else we do. It's a choice whether or not you light up a room or you bring it down when you walk in. It's all up to you and the choice that you make, as is everything that goes on when it comes to light, darkness, happiness, sadness, etc. A lot of it's choice. So, life is 20% what happens to you, 80% how you handle it. And today I want to talk about that 80%, because the 80% is super important. Attitude. Okay, I know what you're thinking. I am 40-some years old, and somebody is paying this woman to tell me about my attitude. I mean, I learned that in kindergarten, honey. And my mama told me since I was little to have a good attitude. I really don't need to hear it from you. See, attitude isn't that simple. Not nearly that simple. I was really fortunate to do a study program with the Cleveland Clinic. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but they do some of the best research in this country. And I got to do a program with them where we learned about the brain and how the brain works very intensely. I got to study the limbic system of the brain, specifically the emotional part of your brain and how it responds to emotions. And in that study, I learned a lot about how important your attitude is. Your attitude is way more than just an attitude. It is critical. And your attitude and your brain work together to get you what you want, to make you feel happy and sad. Attitudes are actually just collections of thoughts. And you may not have known that. An attitude is actually just what you think about a situation. Whether you think it's good or you think it's bad. That's all an attitude is. A collection of thoughts about how you're thinking about something in particular. So what we're going to do today is dive deep into what that actually means so that you can start applying new things to your life when you leave the doors to feel a beat different and better than you were before you came in. But let's start with a joke because I like jokes. Are you ready? My friend the genie, I love the genie. We're going to start with a genie joke. Bob is walking along and Bob kicks a bottle and up comes my friend the genie. And the genie says, "Hi, Bob. I am so thankful to be free. I'm going to grant you one wish." Bob says, "Oh, I know what I want. I want to be the most desirable thing to every woman in the world." Genie said, "Sure." Poof! And Bob became a chocolate bar. Cute? Isn't that fun? I think that's so fun. We all love chocolate. All right, so here's how things work inside. Every thought we have leads to a feeling. That feeling accelerates our thought and leads to an action. That's how we work fundamentally. Thoughts, feelings, actions. And let's break that down. We can look at it another way. What happens to us mentally is accelerated by how we feel emotionally, and it will show up somewhere physically. Okay? And it's a rule. It's one of those things you can't get out of. That cycle is going to play. It's how you operate. So what you need to learn is how to better operate that wheel. Okay? So let's start with thought. Your mind alone can produce between 25 and 50,000 thoughts a day. Now really sit on that, because that's a lot of thoughts that you have. And a lot of those thoughts just happen on autopilot. You don't even know they're going on. The next thing you know, you've been thinking and wandering off for about 10 minutes, and who knows what you thought in that 10-minute time frame. But between 25 and 50,000 thoughts happen in your mind every day. If I could take all that energy from all your thoughts, and I could put it into an electric line, you could actually power a 25-watt light bulb with how much energy your thoughts produce. So what you're thinking has a tremendous amount of power. Now see, your brain's goal for you is to experience joy. The limbic system of the brain specifically works with the rest of the brain to see that you are happy. Now the happier you are and the more joy you experience, the happier the brain is, and the more the brain wants to do work with the rest of you. It's how we heal. So thoughts are incredibly powerful because they are the beginning. They're where we start with how we're giving our brain the message of what we want. Now, we think in two ways, consciously and subconsciously. The conscious piece of how we think only lasts for about 4 to 6%. The subconscious part of what we think is that huge 90+ other side of it. So let's put that into play. Let's say that when you were 16 years old, you learned to drive a car. Everyone remember that experience? And when you got in the car, you were probably a little bit nervous. And you felt the wheel, and you learned to feel the pedals, and when to give and when not to, and you learned the gear shift. And as you do that learning, it happens in the conscious part of your brain. You are consciously learning that skill. But let's just say you break both your legs and you can't drive for 3 years. At the end of that 3 years, when you get into the vehicle to drive for the first time, can you do it? Yeah. It all comes back to you completely naturally. And the reason it comes back to you completely naturally is because of that other 90+%. It's like a hamster wheel that plays and plays and plays. And all the information since the day you were born that you've put into your subconscious hamster wheel is still turning. Anyone play an instrument when they were in elementary school? The piano. Anybody play the piano? I guarantee you, if you haven't touched a piano in 20 years, you could still sit down and identify the notes that are on the keys, perhaps even play cha-cha-cha or something cute. All of that continues to spin in the subconscious. Well, it doesn't just go for tasks and things we learn to do. It also goes for how we think about others, ourselves, and life. Maybe when you were young, someone told you that you'd never be anything. And they told you that at 4. You're never going to be nothing. And then at 6, they reminded you, you're never going to be nothing. And then at 8, you're never going to be nothing. Well, see, that subconscious message that churns in the subconscious moves, and it never goes away until it receives a new message. Let me give you an example. When I was young, I had to wear glasses. I wear contacts now. But when I was in the 4th grade, that was in the 80s. And we had a little no fashion sense in the 80s at all, as far as I'm concerned. But glasses in the 80s were like goggles, you know? They took up your entire face. Not to mention that in the 80s, you could get colored lenses to match your frames, if that isn't the most attractive. So in 4th grade, I had glasses that took up my entire face. I'm determined to find a picture to put in my presentations because I'm not over-exaggerating at all. They're huge. And not only were the frames purple, but the lenses were also purple. I was styling and profiling it. Oh my, not my best moment for sure. And I had a friend named Sharon, and Sharon also had these glasses, except hers were blue. So she had the purple and I had the blue, and I'm not kidding, they took up my whole face. And we got made fun of, you know, for wearing our glasses. 4 eyes. We need those 4. And a lot of harassment from normal kids on the school bus that had something to say about kids wearing glasses. And then in 4th grade, I'd stay after school with Sharon and a boy named Ryan. And Ryan tended to get in a little trouble sometimes, you know. So we were standing after school, and it was the 3 of us in the classroom, and Ryan and Sharon started to argue. And Ryan said, "You're so ugly with your glasses, I hate you. I hate you, I hate your glasses, you're ugly, you're a loser." And he started screaming awful things at Sharon, only because she wore glasses. About a minute later, he punched Sharon in the face, directly at her glasses, broke her glasses in half, her head hit the wall, she fell. Long story short, I learned a message that day in 4th grade that not only was wearing glasses make you ugly, make you a loser, make people talk ugly to you, but somebody could break your face just because you were wearing a pair of glasses. And at 4th grade, I really retained that message that wearing glasses could even almost be dangerous. Nobody wants you or likes you with glasses. So by 14, I was in contacts immediately, as soon as I was old enough to get them. When I was about 19 or 20, I was in a relationship, and I always wore my contacts because I was so afraid to put my glasses on, because if I wore my glasses, he would see that I was ugly and that I might be a loser and all these other things, because those were the messages I had received. So I came out of the bathroom one night to go get some wings and watch a football game, and I had my glasses on. And I had my glasses on because my contacts had kind of hurt my eyes, and I didn't know what else to do except go blind. And I'm pretty blind without glasses. So I came out of the bathroom around the corner, and he looked up at me and he said, "Oh, you're going to wear your glasses tonight?" And I'm not sure what his tone really meant. He probably was just asking me a question. But all I heard in my mind was, "Man, do you look ugly. Change them things quick." And I ran into the bathroom and I put my contacts back in, which had already damaged my eyes. And I didn't take them out at all, not once, for a full year. Yeah, I got a severe eye infection and ended up having to wear glasses for a full year. So it was a terrible little wheel that got around. But there was so much damage in my subconscious about something as simple as glasses that it carried with me as I aged until I fed new information to my hamster wheel. Does that make sense to everybody? Because you have stuff that you've learned all along the way that's churning in that wheel. And here's the problem. What's churning in that wheel is a big part of your 25 to 50,000 thoughts. You're on autopilot with your thinking. And our thinking isn't necessarily getting us what we want. A lot of our thinking can be negative and worrisome. Our thought highways tend to look like this. If you think of your mind as a highway, it should be clear. Yours is congested, like traffic on 495 around D.C. And it's like that most days. And if you notice the language that I have around there, you see a lot of defeating language. I'm never going to make it. I just can't do that. I don't know how. No, bad, worry, sad. Oh no. I can't, I shouldn't, she shouldn't, we should, nobody should. I just can't. I'll never make it. I don't know how. I just don't have enough. And we play this thought game with ourselves of feeding ourselves negative information. And here's the thing. Once you feed that information, your hamster wheel will spin it forever and ever. Amen. Till you feed it something new. Now we got to get into emotions. If you have a superpower, feeling is the superpower. Here's the problem. We're using that superpower to our disadvantage instead of to our advantage. Emotions are power. And when it comes to thought, emotions are what bring thoughts alive. And we are really, really good feelers. I know a whole lot of people were feeling this morning when I was driving out here in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Lots of feelings going on, right? Have someone get up in front of your committee and make a whole bunch of changes and see what kind of feelings come out, right? Or go to Walmart on Black Friday and see what feelings look like, right? We are really good feelers. Most people can go from 0 to 100. We know how to feel. Well, there's a problem with that because I told you, feeling is your superpower. And we're using it for the negative, not the positive. Now, I want you to imagine that this is your thought. It's just a tiny little flame, just a little light. Feelings are like hairspray on the flame. Have you ever seen that before? Okay, here's what it looks like. I've been trying to get someone to let me demo that, but they never have enough insurance. Like, I really, just once, if someone would let me do that, I think it would be so much fun. That's what it looks like when you feel on top of a thought. You think it, and then as soon as you start feeling, that thought gets very, very powerful. And eventually it's going to show up in how you act, feel, behave. Here's what a lot of action looks like for people who are thinking and feeling perhaps in the negative. You might get angry easily. You might worry. You might be grumpy when you wake up. You might get irritable sometimes or all the time. You might feel depressed sometimes or annoyed, frustrated. You might eat a little too much or drink a little too much or smoke a little too much or do anything a little bit too much because you're just trying to escape those thoughts and feelings. So you don't know what to do with all of them. A negative thought, a negative feeling will always lead to a negative action. It's the way the wheel spins. And the only way that changes is you change the direction of the wheel. So let's think about a bottle of water. I'm going to need a volunteer, a big pocketbook. Let's see. I'll take this gentleman in the center, right here. This gentleman right here just offered me $50 if I would hold this water bottle right here. Thanks. I really appreciate it. So he says, Gretchen, I'll give you $50 if you just hold this water bottle. And I said, well, yeah. Who doesn't need $50? And how easy that $50 is. And see, I'm just going to stand here for 1 minute. I'm going to take your $50 and it's nothing. It's so incredibly easy. And the more I think about how easy it is, the lighter the bottle gets, because I'm making $50 for 1, 2, 3, right? So the minute goes up, and I think, I got you. And he says, well, hey, double or nothing if you'll hold that water bottle for 1 minute out to your side. Absolutely. Double or nothing? Sure, I need $100. I'll take it. So I hold the water bottle out to my side. And as I'm standing here waiting for this minute to go by, I'm noticing there's a little bit different dynamic in the water bottle now that I've moved it away from my comfort zone. You know, it's only a pound, but it is a little heavier than it was the last time I held it here. Now, am I worried about getting your $100? No, I think I'm going to make it. But I'm telling you up front, it's not quite as easy to hold it up as it was the first time. It's a little bit harder. And as I think about it being a little bit harder, it just gets a little bit heavier, I tell you right now. So I do it. Now you owe me $100, and he says, double or nothing. $200 to hold the water bottle straight out for 2 minutes. You can't bend your arm at all, and you can't move. You're on. So at first, I'm thinking to myself, man, this is cake. I'm going to walk out of here with $200. That's so awesome. And I did nothing but hold a water bottle. Until about that 20-second mark. You realize that a water bottle extended straight out, even at 1 pound, is suddenly not so easy to do. And now I'm starting to worry a little because not only am I going to potentially not get the 200, I'm going to walk away with 0, and I'm going to be really embarrassed that I couldn't hold this up. But I'm telling you, it's getting really heavy. And the more I think about it getting heavy, the harder it is for me to hold up. And now I'm starting to sweat a little bit. And I'm having feelings all through here that aren't good because I don't want to lose that $200. And now I'm feeling disappointed in myself. What kind of loser can't hold up a bottle for 2 minutes? And the madder I get, the more it goes. And then what happens? My arm bends by accident, and I throw the bottle and start cussing. Thoughts, feelings, actions. You ever watch The Biggest Loser? Anyone ever watched that show before? They can hold their arm out like this for a half an hour because they are mentally there. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. You know what the brain says? Yes, she can. Hold it tight. But the more I got negative, the more the brain told my body, muscles, give up. She can't do it. I sent direct messages into my brain that corresponded with the rest of my body and showed up in my inability to actually hold the bottle. That's how it works. So let's just take an example of a mom and a son. And the son is married, and the mom and the son were very close, all the way up until they got married. And the mom has the son's checking account information. Because, you know, the son and her were very close, and that's who they had. But now he's married. But the mom is a worrier. So she checks that account every now and again because she just wants to make sure he's okay. No, she worries. So she gets into the checking account and she realizes that there's hardly any money in it. And it makes her a little nervous. So her son and her daughter-in-law show up for dinner on Sunday evening in a brand new 2017 vehicle, whatever. And mom is about to have a full-scale heart attack, okay? She saw the checking account. They can't afford this car. I mean, they're talking about having babies and building a house. You can't afford this car. So before long, mom's got herself so worked up with thoughts and feelings that she can't stop what happens, and it happens right here. I know I shouldn't say nothing. I know it's none of my business. But I just worry about you all, and I look at the checking account, and I know you only have $1,000, and there's a brand new car sitting outside. What are you doing? I am worried about you. And the son and the daughter-in-law are like, Mom, you can't be serious. First of all, that's our play money checking account. We opened a new one when we got married. Daughter-in-law's not real happy with mother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? And that's a true story. And the son and the daughter-in-law and the mom had to do a lot of work to repair the relationship. Let's look at it a different way. I'm going to assume that a lot of people in the room have children. And let's just say that your daughter moved to Nebraska 5 years ago. And every Thursday, specifically at 2 o'clock, your daughter calls you. Every Thursday, 5 years since she moved there from Nebraska, every Thursday. But on Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, you have a voicemail from your daughter in Nebraska that says, Hey, Mom, give me a call. Well, the first thing you do is get up. Jennifer, my daughter just called me. It's Wednesday. I don't know why she called me today. I mean, it's Wednesday. She calls me on Thursday at 2 o'clock. I can't believe she called. And Jennifer said, Well, did you call her back? Well, yeah, I called her back. I called her back about 17 times, and she's not answering the phone, and I am worried about her. She don't call me on a Wednesday. She calls me on Thursday. Something is wrong. So she continues to dial the phone, and she's getting in more and more of a panic because she's having every thought there is. Oh, gosh, something's wrong with the children. Oh, my gosh, what if Marshall lost his job? What if she was in a car accident? And something is seriously wrong. I don't know what to do. I'm in a complete panic. And you can see her panic, and she can feel her panic. So finally, she can't take it anymore. She's not answering the phone. Jennifer, that's it. I'm calling her husband. I can't take it. I'm just going to get her husband on the phone, and he can tell me that everything is okay. So she calls the husband, and the husband doesn't answer. Oh, my gosh, it's been a fire. I know it. They're all What am I going to do? She's not answering the phone. I don't know what to do. And it's Wednesday. She only calls me on Thursday. Jennifer, I'm just going to have to call her boss at work. I mean, I don't know what else to do, and I'm so worried, and I can't get Marshall on the phone, and what if something's wrong with one of the kids? And she's in Nebraska. What am I going to do to help? So she goes in, and she calls her daughter's boss. Her boss is like, yes, she's at work today. I'll tell you what, I'll go find her, and I'll have her give you a call. So you're waiting by the phone. You know, I mean, the boss said she was going to call me. I mean, she's got to call me. And then she picks up the phone. Mom, hey, I wanted Grandma's coleslaw recipe. What's the problem? Right? But Mom, and I know I am a mom, your mind accelerates. And as soon as you have a thought and you attach a feeling, the next thing you know, you may be somewhat out of control. Okay? Thoughts, feelings, actions, and that's how it works. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Thoughts, feelings, and then actions. So let's get into some tips for success. I'm going to give you 5 today. Now, let me be upfront with you. Really, really honest and upfront. None of this is cookie cutter easy to do. None of it. It takes work, and it takes dedication, and it takes focus, like anything else you want to accomplish. If you want to learn to play the piano, you have to sit and practice playing the piano until you get good at playing the piano, yes? If you want to cross-stitch or do Zumba or whatever it is you're into, you have to put work into it to get what you want. And this is no different. Okay? You gotta work for it. But the reward is absolutely unbelievable and totally freeing. And I really want that for you. So the first tip for success I have for you is happiness. You have to choose to get happier. And notice the word I used was choose to get happier. You have to choose to see the bright side. You have to choose to be happy. Now let me tell you something about happiness, a little secret you may not know. First question, anyone ever seen Naked and Afraid? I know it's not a question you expected to ever be asked in your life. Naked and Afraid. It's a show on National Geographic. A little show of hands. Anyone ever seen it before? Thank goodness. I thought when you asked this audience if they've seen Naked and Afraid, it might not be the best thing you've done. It is a show, and the whole concept of the show is you're naked, and you get dropped in the middle of a very exotic jungle, and you have to survive for 21 days. They give you nothing. Not even clothes. But the whole point is before each of these survivors get out there and try to survive, they're giving a PSR, a personal survival rating. So before they even get out into the wilderness, the experts are going to say they get a 7.6 for being a good survivalist. And then at the end of the show, depending how they do, they get a new number. It either goes up, goes down, or stays the same. Everybody with me? You have a happiness number that's very similar to a survival rating. That happiness number, your level of happiness and where you are, can be changed by three things, or is influenced by three things, okay? The first 10 to 15% of your happiness rating comes from your genetics, okay? So you can thank your bloodline if they were happy or not, that first 10 to 15% of your happiness rating. Now the next large percent comes from life experience. Like maybe you got married. And while you were doing your wedding and all of that was going on, your happiness rating was through the roof because you were experiencing something amazing. Well, on the exact same token, life can give you the reverse. Perhaps you lost someone that you loved very much and you had to grieve, in which your number would then be the exact opposite. So we can't count on life experience, and we can't count on genetics. What's left is the 40% that you are in control of. How you choose to think, how you choose to feel. And all of that affects your happiness rating. And you want to get that rating higher and higher, because the higher you get your rating, the more work your brain will automatically do for you. Now right now your brain automatically does a lot of work for you, just not the kind you want. It might be used to negative thought and worry and processing in the negative. Well, it's going to keep doing that for you until you teach it to do something new. And happiness is how we start. Now, happiness directly affects a lot of things in our body. First of all, our natural ability to find satisfaction is dictated by how happy we are. How happy are you? It also affects how we manage stress, our desires, and our addictions. Happiness is really powerful, and happiness is a choice. Everyone right now in your seat, think of the one person or thing that you love the most. Go. Think about them. Can you see them? Are they hugging you? Okay, now, at least half the audience is suddenly smiling a little bit. Now, you just sent a direct signal to your brain, this feels like happiness. And we could do the exact opposite, but we won't, because I want you happy. Thinking happy thoughts. It's the same thing when we have a thought about something. A good thought lifts us, a bad thought brings us down. Now, there are neurotransmitters that we have, in our body that send messages from the brain. Neurotransmitters are awesome. They send messages and they get the body to do things that the brain wants it to do. And there are two neurotransmitters that are my personal favorite that I want to introduce you to today. And I don't want to be too technical, I just want you to know their names and I want you to know how they work so that you can use them for you instead of against you, okay? The first is serotonin. Have you heard that before? Okay, serotonin is happy juice. That's all it is. It is a chemical of happy juice that lives in your brain that wants to play with you all the time. But we don't ask it to play. Now, heroin users, kids that use ecstasy, any type of opiate, the only thing they're looking for is to get serotonin to release in their brain. That's it. That's all those drugs do. It causes serotonin happy juice to come out in mass amounts and make them feel completely euphoric. That juice is already in you and you can drink all you want if you tap into it. When you thought the happy thought about the thing you love, serotonin left your brain and entered your body. When you think about things you are thankful for, serotonin leaves the brain and enters the body. There are foods you can eat that help serotonin release. And of course, there's exercise. But your best asset to use serotonin is how you think about a situation. And happy juice will come wiggling through you, helping you to feel good and to attract more good thought. Now, the second neurotransmitter is my personal favorite. It's called dopamine. Dopamine is like your personal cheerleader. And it lives inside of you, and dopamine says, I love it and I want more of it. And whatever you teach dopamine to respond to that feels good to you, dopamine's going to help you get more of it, and more of it, and more of it. It's its job. So let's put that into play so you can see what dopamine looks like. Now let's just imagine that I'm 18 years old, high school cheerleader, 1956. And the football game just ended, and it's a Friday night. Oh my gosh, Johnny's coming. Quarterback football team over there, and he's coming towards me. I'm going to come towards you instead. He's coming towards me. Hi, Johnny. Johnny says, hi, could I take you out to the ice cream parlor on Friday? And she says, yeah, I'd really love to. It'd be great. Yeah, okay. So then she leaves. And she runs home and she runs inside and she says, Mom, Johnny asked me out. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to do. I'm so excited. I think he likes me. And he asked me to ice cream. Can I go, please, Mom, please? Mom says, well, yeah, go. Yeah, just, be home on time or whatever, make sure, whatever. So Johnny picks me up and so excited. Hi, Johnny. And then we go and we have ice cream and we look at each other, we bat our eyes, and he holds my hand. And as he holds my hand, oh, my heart, it's going. So the date's over and he drops you off and he opens the door and you walk inside and Mom's waiting. Mom, I can't breathe. Oh, he's just so dreamy, and when he looks at me, I don't know what to do. I just can't wait to see him again. Mom, please, can I see him again? Mom, please. Okay, you can see him again. So he asks her out again. This time they're at the drive-in, and they're in the car, and makes the move. She's just sitting there thinking, oh my God, these guys aren't going to miss me. And the next thing you know, he awkwardly leans in and they kiss. And again, she's having trouble breathing. It's really hot in the room, and he takes her home, and she runs in, Mom, I'm going to marry him. I know it. I'm going to marry him. We're going to have babies, and it's going to be awesome. Dopamine, okay? Straight dopamine. Dopamine says, it felt good when he looked at you. You want him to look at you again. And then you held hands, and dopamine went, oh my gosh, that feels so good. Can you please kiss? Okay, dopamine understands what feels good to you. And it's going to get you more of it. You go home after a bad day of work and you sit down to a bowl of chocolate ice cream. Yeah. Huh? Dopamine says, this makes me feel good. So when you come home tomorrow after a bad day, you need a bowl and a half. Have you ever experienced that? Think of Grandma when you were little. And you fell and you skinned your knee. She scooped you up and brought you in the house and set you up on the counter. And you're bleeding and you got gravel and you're sore, and she's pouring hydrogen peroxide over it. And hydrogen peroxide never burns. You just think it burns, So you're expecting the crippling burn. And as she pours the hydrogen peroxide, here comes the cookie. And Grandma gives you that chocolate chip cookie, and that knee doesn't hurt anymore, does it? And you dip it in the milk, and Grandma gives you a big hug, and you feel better. Now, unfortunately, in the scheme of food addiction, dopamine thinks food is what cured you. But you understand where I'm going. Dopamine knows what feels good. Now here's my caution to you. Bad things can feel good too. Gossip. For some people, gossip can feel good. So dopamine wants you to get more. Maybe you smoke. Dopamine knows smoking makes you feel good. It's going to want you to get more. Whatever negative you have, if you get a little enjoyment out of that negative, dopamine's going to help you get more of it because that's its job. So what you need to do is find things that make you feel good and help dopamine get attached to them. Okay? Let's see here. Oh, the spouse test. You're going to love this. This is so much fun. So legitimate as well. Really good test. All right, anyone married in the room? Perfect. All right. First, we're going to need our supplies for our test, which is going to be your husband. That's the first thing you're going to need. You're going to need a dog. Any dog. I don't even care if you know the dog. You just need a dog. Okay? So your husband, any dog. Now, we're also going to need an undisclosed location where we have 2 cars with working trunks that can't be unlocked from the inside. Are you with me? Undisclosed location. 2 cars with working trunks that can't be opened from the inside. Your husband and any dog. Now you're going to drive to that place. I want you to open both trunks. I want you to place your husband in one and place the dog in the other. Close the trunks. Let that marinate. About 4 to 6 hours. Come back. Now when you get back, I want you to open both trunks simultaneously and let me know which one is happy to see. Lily! Your husband be fighting mad getting out of that trunk, wouldn't he? Oh, he'd be mad. But Lily's not. Lily is so thankful that you opened that trunk. And I bet you the whole time she was missing you. She was loving you from inside that trunk every moment, needing you to come back, wanting you to come back so that she could love you. What was your husband thinking about? Plotting the revenge. Yes? See, we all make a choice. That husband could have chose to think that maybe you were doing something a little kinky and it would turn out okay. It's a choice. Everything